All right. So I thought for this Qigong class, we would start with warming up because I know everybody said it's a little chilly. We're not used to this chillier weather. So we're going to come into our Wuji stance. And remember, you always have the option to do these seated. So you can always sit down. You'll get the same effect. If you feel like your legs are starting to get a bit tired as we're moving through the Qigong, then just take a seat. So beginning in Wuji, we lift up through the crown of the head. We take our tongue behind the top teeth at the roof of the mouth, like we're saying la 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 la. And then our arms are soft and relaxed by our sides. And then our tailbone drops a little. And I always like to emphasize that it's not a pelvic tilt, like you're really coming forward with your pelvis. It's just a little drop. So you'll notice how the knees just bend slightly when I do that. And so the other way to come into that is just simply bend the knees slightly, like relax the knees. And then lastly, your knees roll out over the balls of the feet. Now, this can put a little strain on your knees. So if that doesn't feel comfortable, just relax with your knees softly bent and just don't do that last little piece. So lifting through the crown of the head, shoulders relaxed, tip of the tongue behind the top teeth, and then tailbone drops and knees roll out over the balls of the feet. And this is our Wuji. Let's take 3 deep breaths here. We're going to breathe in through our nose and we're going to exhale through our mouth. And one last deep breath. And then allow your breath to just be normal. Breathing in, breathing out, nice and relaxed breath. Maybe you feel the chest move, the lower dantian, so right below the belly button. Maybe you feel that part of your abdomen moving as you inhale and exhale. And letting go of all thoughts, anything that happened before you arrived, and anything else that you might need to do afterwards. So allowing yourself to be here in the present moment. And we're going to begin with a bit of our shaking. So just a bouncing or shaking. So we're just going to bounce lightly. Bouncing sounds better than shaking, I think. And see if you can just get really relaxed through the joints. So bouncing or shaking allows all the tissues, especially the tendons and the ligaments where the muscles attached to the bone, just to reset, relax. It's almost like giving your whole body like a self-adjustment. You can lift the shoulders up and let the shoulder joints bounce. Shoulder blades. You don't want to really let our head bounce. Feel your elbows bounce and wrists bounce. Sometimes this takes a lot of practice. It's not easy just to kind of let go of all the joints. Once you get that upper part of the body and soften the knees. I know your breathing is probably erratic right now. That's okay. And then see if you can really like get those knees going. Just little bounces on the knees. A couple little more bounces here. And then we're going to come back into that Wuji. Give yourself a little shake. Reset. Lifting up through the crown of the head. Tip of the tongue behind the top teeth. Arms relaxed. Tailbone drops. Knees rolled out over the balls of the feet. Let your breathing slow. And you might feel a little bit lighter in your body now that we've just moved everything around. It's also excellent for the lymphatic system, just bouncing. Let's do Qigong next, warming up all of our joints. So we'll start with wise owl gazes backwards, palms face down. And then as we reach behind us, palms up, thumb reaches back. We look over the shoulder. That's our inhale. We exhale, we relax back to the center. And then we inhale and look over the opposite shoulder. Exhale, back to center. Inhale and exhale. So try just to focus on just the movement of the arms, the shoulders, in particular, the shoulder joints, and then the neck. Everything else is relaxed. And we'll bring our hands back to the center. We're going to bring our arms up, and we're just going to circle them in and reach down. So now your backs of your hands are kind of facing you, and your fingertips are reaching down. We're going to take our chin down to the chest, and then we're going to circle it over to the left, bring it back down, and circle it back over to the left. And just make that movement a few times. And then bring your chin over to the right, your head over to the right, rolling over to the right shoulder just a few times. Bring your chin back to the center, bring your head back up to the center, relax the arms. Placing the hands just on the tops of the thighs, leading with your chin. We're going to roll our spine, reaching out, hands dropping down towards the knees, tuck the chin, and then roll back like a spinal wave. So we exhale, we'll make a nice little spinal wave. And we inhale. Exhale. And inhale. You can also do the breathing opposite. You can inhale as you come forward and exhale as you round up. As long as you're moving with your breath. Let's do 2 more of these spinal waves. And relax. Come back into your region. Taking a moment, just always a breath or two to notice any subtle changes in your body. And we'll take our hands on our hips and we'll make some circles. So nice little circles. We're not making great big circles. And you want to keep your back straight. So when you're coming forward, your back is straight. You're not rounding the back. So keeping the spine in alignment for this movement. So we didn't take our legs wider. We're still in that same Wuji position. with our legs just about hips distance apart. We're really getting into the sensations in the low back, into the hips, noticing all the muscles and joints, every movement that you're making, noticing how it feels in your body. And then we'll reverse our direction, taking our circles in the other direction. And even sometimes reversing direction feels different. And we'll come back to center. And then we'll take the index finger side or the kind of knife edge side of our fingers, placing it in the claw. So this place where the leg joins the hip, and we're going to circle the sacrum. So just try to imagine that there's a pencil tip dangling from the coccyx bone or that last little piece of the sacrum. And you can draw a circle in between your feet on the floor. And another way to get a feeling of what you're doing is if you take your hands and you place them on the sacrum, on your SI joints here, and you make that little movement, you can actually feel the movement in the SI joints. So it's kind of cool because it's a very subtle movement, but you can actually feel the joints we make these little circles. You'll also feel the lower abs and the core engage. So sometimes even this movement is so small, it can feel large in the body. It would feel like we're doing a lot of work, which you are. And then reverse that direction. So circle in the other direction. Okay, we're not talking about the breath. And we'll let that go. And then bring our feet together. Hands just above or on the knees, bending the knees, and then making a half circle in one direction. And you might want to start slowly and not bend a whole lot. Just wait until the knees warm up. And you can take those a little deeper again if you want. Another direction. Take a few bend and flexes, and flexion and extensions, bend and straighten. Let that go. Give your legs a little shake. And then we're going to extend one of our legs, keeping the ball of the foot on the floor. And if you imagine, if you're looking down at your knee, it's like your knee is making a circle around your foot. So you're getting a circle in the ankle, a circle in the knee, and a circle in the hip. But sometimes this could be a little difficult to do, actually, even though it sounds simple. So if you imagine the knee drawing a circle around your foot, it helps to get that movement. And then we reverse it, take it the other way. And other leg, extend the other leg, same thing. Imagine you're taking your knee around your foot, drawing a circle. Reverse direction. And shake it. So being that we are in the season of metal or the fall, we're going to work a little bit with our lungs and the metal element. So we'll come back into our Wuji stance, lifting up through the crown of the head, tip of the tongue behind the top teeth, relaxing our shoulders, tailbone drops, knees are slightly bent, and maybe rolled over the balls of the feet. So bringing our arms up right in front of our chest, we're going to take an inhale, open out to the sides, turn the palms up, reach back with the thumbs, squeeze the shoulder blades, and an exhale, come back to the center. So very similar to this one, very similar to the wise owl gazes backward, except our arms are a bit higher. So they're at the level of the chest. And you can feel a little bit more happening in the chest. So when you reach your arms back, you're really kind of squeezing those shoulder blades together. So you might feel this a little bit more. The other thing we have happening is we're holding our arms up higher. So your arms might be a little tired as we make this movement. So if that happens, just bring them down. You can bring the elbows down, lower the arms, and you can do this movement this way. Okay, so whatever feels better, take a breath in and a breath out. And focus on keeping the joints soft. See if you can keep your shoulders relaxed, your elbows relaxed, your wrists relaxed, and your hands. Your hands are soft, the palms are relaxed, the fingers are relaxed. Just like you have those helium balloons underneath the palms. Your arms will get a little fatigued. If you need to, again, move them down a bit, move them down. Last one. And then just lift the arms down. Come back into Wuji. Notice your body, your arms, your chest in the front, and your chest in the back. And see how that feels. Taking our fingertips, we're going to come just into lung one, so kind of right here. Yeah. We're just going to massage out a little bit. Breathing deeply. And then if you want to, you can do little beaks. That might feel even better. And you can do chicken flaps its wings and make little circles, keeping some finger pressure on that lung one. And then reverse that direction. And release. And then with our tiger's mouth, the thumb is going to come onto that lung one, and your fingertips underneath the armpit there. And start by bringing your arm across the body and your waist turns with it. You follow the hand with your eyes, come up ahead, up above your head, and then behind you and across. So it's like we're making a big shoulder circle with our arm, but we're using our body. So we're coming across, up, and then our waist turns to the other side as our arm comes down. So now we have the rib cage getting some movement where the lungs are housed, right? They live in the rib cage. Moving your arm with your breath. Perhaps inhaling as you reach across and up, and exhaling as your arm comes down and you twist to the opposite side. And then we're going to reverse that direction. So we're going to start to come to the back first, and then across to the front. If you find that you're getting a little dizzy, if your eyes are open and you're following your arm, just close your eyes. You know what the movement looks like. You feel it. You don't need to have the eyes open if it makes you a little dizzy. And then we'll let go of that arm. Give your shoulders a little roll. We'll make our tiger's mouth and we'll come onto the other side. Start by coming across, up on your inhale. Rotating at the waist as you exhale and the arm comes behind you. Inhale. And exhale. And again, you can follow this with your eyes, or you can keep your eyes closed. And sometimes just keeping the eyes closed also helps us really to feel what's happening in the joint, feeling what's happening in the body. And then we're going to reverse that direction. So coming from the back to the front. Last one. Letting it go. Settling back into your Ruji stance. Taking notice of how you're feeling, how you're breathing. We're going to just take our hands, we're going to place them in the back where the kidneys are. And you can make like a loose knuckles if you want. And we're just going to give the kidneys a little massage. So you can just get your knuckles in there. You can rub out side to side. You can make circles. If it doesn't feel good with your knuckles, you can just use the backs of your hands, just massaging the kidneys, the low back. So remember that the lungs and the kidneys work together. So the lungs breathe in air. The air carries the chi. The chi from the air needs to go down to the lungs. The lungs take that chi and then they distribute that chi back up to the rest of the body, to the spleen, and back up to the lungs to make our protective chi, our wei chi. That's our immunity, or our immunity. So we got those nice and warmed up. Good. Hopefully nobody's back is sore. If it is, that should feel good. I'll let that go. Good. Then we're just going to take our fingertips or palms, fists, sorry, or fingertips, and we're just going to tap again, just underneath the collarbone, and just follow the collarbone out. So kidney 27 is up here underneath the collarbone, the last point on the kidney meridian. It's also over the chest, right? Which is interesting. So if you're thinking about meridians, the lung starts here and the kidney ends here. So those pathways connect and those organs connect. So we're just taking light fingertips, pressure underneath the collarbones. This is going to stimulate the lymph glands there as well. And then we're going to make our little karate chop hands and come to the center of the chest or right between the breastbone. And if that doesn't feel good, you can just press here. You don't have to karate chop. And this is conception vessel 17 or the sea of chi of the chest. So we're activating the chi in the chest. The thymus gland rests behind the sternum and it produces T cells, which help our immunity. So it's all making sense. So breathe deeply, tapping on that point. And let's release, let that go. Beautiful. And then taking our left hand behind our waist. So just letting it kind of rest in the low back. We're going to take our right arm and we're going to come across the body. So very similar to that shoulder circle we just did. We're going to come back up. And then this time, instead of just looking in the back and twisting at the waist, we're going to make a little side bend, pressing, imagine like you're pressing a balloon underwater. This is the water element Qigong. So this is good for the kidneys. Okay, so making that twist. So you twist at the low back. And then when you press down, you're making a little side bend. So this side bend here gives a little massage to the kidney. Breathing in, breathing out. I always like to use the visualization of your fingertips running across a smooth body of water. And then the water dripping off the fingers as you bring your arm up. And then pressing that balloon underwater. And then last one on this side. Back up to center, give your shoulders maybe another little roll, and then take the right arm behind. The left arm is going to sweep across that water, twisting at the waist, coming up. Exhaling, looking at the heel as you press your hand down, making a little side bend to the left. Same thing, if you're feeling like you're getting a little dizzy with your eyes open, just close your eyes. Again, you can always take a seat. And swing. And come back to the center. This time, just take the right hand on the lower dantian, the left hand on top. Take a breath in and see if you can feel your lower abdomen rising here with your inhale. And when you exhale, imagine you can exhale straight back to the mingmen, or this place right here between the kidneys. You can imagine, for me, I like to imagine kind of a bellows. So when I take a breath in, it's like this conception vessel area is expanding with breath, like a bellow expands. And then when I exhale and just squeeze the bellow together, the breath goes straight back to that place between the kidneys, and it creates or fans the fire. So that's the visualization I like to use, but maybe something else works for you. I'm just doing that Dantian to Mingmen breath. Just a couple more breaths here. Visualizing that place between the kidneys getting nice and warm. And slowly releasing your arms back down to your sides, coming back into your Ouija. And then we're going to start to work with some swings. So the first movement we're going to do is just bear. So bear is like we shift our weight to, it's like a to one side. So I actually could lift this leg up because I just shifted all my weight to that side. And then I'm going to shift it back over to this side, and I could kind of lift this leg. And if you want to imagine your hips are kind of doing a little figure eight. So they're doing this, coming in here, and over here, and over here. So bear is just this shifting of the weight. Now, if you're finding that it's a little too difficult with my feet in Wuji, feel free to take them a little wider. So just a little bit wider. That's going to make your shift a little bit easier. Shift, shift. Yeah. So it's like you're pivoting all the weight on one leg so that you can pick up this leg if you had to do anything. So that's what you're doing. But it's just very subtle. And we're just shifting. And And probably all of you who are moms, this probably feels like, oh, you know, just like when you have babies and you're holding your babies and you're rocking side to side, like the mama bear, right? This is called the bear. So we just shift and shift and shift. That's it. So just getting a sensation of making that figure eight, and then see if you can slow it down just a little bit. Slow it down with your breath. And notice which way you're going. So if you're going to the right and the right hip comes up and you're making your figure eight, notice your figure eight, even if you have to take your hands like mine and draw it in the air. Because then, of course, we're going to reverse it. So now we're going to reverse the figure eight. So see if you can do that, reverse it. So the purpose of these subtle movements like this is to get the joints moving together. So the knees move, the hips move, the ankles move, the knees move, the hips move, the shoulders move. Your arms follow along. So all the joints are kind of moving together. Okay, everybody has that one, right? Good. Now come back to your center. You can keep your feet out a little bit wider if you want to. Then we're going to try to do the first swing, which is just swinging. So we're going to make those shifts, but you're going to do it a little quicker. And your arms are going to follow along. We're not doing knocking on heaven's gate, but we're making our arms move a little bit quicker as we're shifting our hips. If it is bothering your knees, feel free to lift your heel up as you come to one side or the other, and that'll help. Take your feet wider, that'll help. So we're just making these little shifts. We're doing them a little faster. Now take notice which way your figure eight is going. So we're going to use your brain to think about which way your figure eight is going, and then reverse that. That's the hard part. This is just simple arm swings. So we have bear swings, arm swings. And then come back to stillness. And then we're going to swing out to one side and shift. And this time we're going to actually just come up on our toes. This is like a little cat stance. So our arms are going to come up and up and up and up. So arms are soft. All your joints are soft. And then they come down and up, down, up, down, up, down. That's it. So now we're shifting our weight. We lift coming all the way up on one, coming up on the toes on one side. Most of the weight is balanced to the back of the standing leg. And we're just going side to side. Couple more of these. And then come back to your standing. Maybe come back to Uji and take a breath or two. the final swing we're going to do, it looks like a W. So our arms come out, up, and around, and we come back into that cat stance. Down, they come up, and cat stance. Down, we're making a big loop, and then cat stance. And loop. So now we have more movement in the arms. So the swings are all preparation Qigong for Tai Chi. They're actually considered Tai Chi movements. Last one. And come back to center. Reestablish your Wu Ji. Take a breath or two. Your heart rate might be a bit quicker now. You're breathing a little faster. Let everything relax. Notice how you're feeling. So those swings in a way, because the lung meridian, the large intestine lung meridian, the metal element is kind of about the chest and the arms. When we're doing those swings, it's like we're actually moving the arms, just like we did with the metal element, 5-element movement. So we're activating those meridians. It's also causing us to breathe a little heavier. So it's probably as aerobic as Qigong gets, because it is such slow movement. So you can feel the lungs working a little bit more when we do that particular movement. Let's do one for the earth. So the earth supports or is the mother of the metal. So we just left earth season, or the change of season of like that Indian summer. We just left that. And now we're in metal. And after metal comes water, and metal and water, or lungs and kidneys, they work together. So let's polish it off with the earth element. And then we're going to balance all of our 3 burners or our 3 heaters with the triple burner Qigong exercise, element exercise. So for the earth, we'll stick with the 5 elements. So the 5 element for the earth, is this one where we have the little telescope with our hands shaped like a V. And again, if your arms get tired, just lower them. You don't have to keep them way, way up. Your elbows are bent. Your shoulders are away from your ears. You are in Wu Ji. And then we just turn at the waist and come back to the center, and then go to the other side. And again, if you feel like you're getting a little dizzy, close your eyes. You can exhale as you go to the center, as you go to the side, and inhale as you come to center. Or you can play with it and do the opposite. Take an inhale when you come to the side, and then exhale to the center. And once more, come back to the center slowly. Lower your arms, lower the shoulders. Back in our Wuji, balancing all of our three heaters. So lower heater is our kidneys, our bladder, our sex organs. Middle is digestive. Upper is heart and lungs. So starting with the lower burner or the lower heater, this is where we do the choo-choo train, or we kind of play with our ball of chi, moving your hands in, moving your hands out. You can keep your eyes closed here. And then whenever you feel like it, you can just imagine that you have taffy between your fingers, and you just reach up with one arm, reach down with the other, and then bring that back together. So it, everybody is different. You might not feel energy or chi between your hands. That's okay. Just keep practicing, and then you'll get that sensation. And take the other arm up and bring it back to the center. And you could do this at your own pace. There's no like, 1, 2, 3 pull. It's just whenever you feel like you want to move that chi away, up and down, and then bring it back together. So I like to use that visualization of taffy, but maybe you have something else that works for you. Maybe you see a color, or maybe magnets, like your palms are magnets, and then you're pulling apart the magnets, and then you're putting them back together. And maybe you only separate your hands as far as you feel that electric chi sensation. So maybe it's only here, and then you come back. That's okay. Start to just get that sense of what the chi feels like in the palms. Maybe you feel or picture an accordion, and you're taking the accordion apart and together. Do a couple more of the lower burner 5 elements. You might also notice that, at least for me, one of the palms of my hands always feels a little bit more acutely aware of sensation than the other. So you might even notice that you feel a bit more energy in one palm than the other. That's okay too. Let's do last one. All right, bring that ball of chi right in front of the dantian. Hold it there. And the next one is for the middle burner is lion plays with the ball. So if you have, and I think I might have shown you this before, if you have one of these Pilates balls at home, this is a nice visual, tactile way to do this. Because all you're doing is when you go over to the left arm comes on top. So all you're doing is spinning your ball. You're just rotating the ball. And then you come back to the center. And when you go over to the right arm comes on top. You're just rotating the ball. And back to center. And rotating the ball. So if you have one of these, it's a nice way to kind of practice about how far you want to have your arms separated. And they're not really moving. All you're doing is rotating the ball from the shoulders. And again, you can inhale or exhale when you come to the side. You can play it both ways and see which way feels better. So now we get that little bit of a twist again. And you might notice here, I'm just observing this in my own body right now, is I could really feel the chi in the palms of my hands from the last exercise that we did with the lower burner. So maybe you still feel that sensation in between your palms. Now, the next time that we come over to the left side, I want you just to hold the ball where it's at. So your left arm is on top, the right arm is on the bottom. And then just bring that ball right over to the right side. So now your left arm is on top, the right arm is on the bottom. And then play the ball again. So all we did was switch our arms. So the side we're going to, that arm is now on the bottom. Everybody have that? Yes, beautiful. So it offers a little more rotation in the spine. And then the next time that we come over to the left side again, that'll be our last movement for lion plays with the ball. And we'll just come back to the center and just hold your ball in front of the middle burner. I know it feels like the chest, but it's a big ball. And take a couple of breaths there. And release. The last movement is for the upper burner is wave hands like clouds. So you can start with your left hand up like you're saying hello, and the right hand is facing the same direction. So we're both like this way. And then we're going to bring the hands down. We're going to switch. And the other arm is up. So now you can start with the palm up. So when you make that switch, the opposite palm comes up. Yeah. So now if you're going to the left, left palm is up, right palm is down. And it's almost like the right hand comes in front, it starts to press down, the left hand reaches up. There's lots of different ways to do wave hands like clouds. This is just one of them. It's almost like we're just switching your hands. You come in front and you switch. The other way to think about it is like almost like your palms are passing over each other, and then you're extending that chi out from the chest. So you come here in the palms, like they're almost like passing, like passing the chi. This one we don't have to reverse, so that's nice. Leave this moving around the calls. And hopefully you still have that sensation of the chi in the palms of your hands. Let's make one more pass to each side. And then let's hold the hands just in front of the chest, shoulders down, palms facing the chest. And just take a nice deep breath. Check your Wuji stance. Lift up through the crown, tip of the tongue, soft shoulders, a little bend in the knees. And then slowly start to lower your arms in front of your body. Take a breath. Inhale, bring your arms up to the sides, palms up, coming over the top of the head, palms down, exhaling, and just bringing all the chi down in front of the body, all the way down to that lower burner. Inhaling, again, reaching up. Exhaling. And one more time. Nice breath in. Nice breath out. Open your right hand on the lower dantian, breathing into the lower belly. Letting all the chi and energy from your hands go right into the dantian, boosting your battery for the day. If your eyes are closed, you can just take your chin to your chest and open your eyes so you come back into the room, see the light. And thank you for allowing me to guide you in this Qigong session today. I hope you all have a beautiful day. Namaste.